So I just downloaded Hollow Knight for the very first time, and yes, I know I'm like 7 years late to the party, but hey, better late than never, right? And honestly, I was starting to get bored of the usual games that I play, and lucky for me, Hollow Knight randomly popped up on my YouTube feed. I read a few reviews, not too many. I didn't want to spoil the game for myself before even playing it, and they were all leaning towards the game being the absolute best of times, so I thought, well, why not? Why not give it a shot? And all I really knew going into this game was that it had a cool art style, a massive underground world, and a reputation for being tough. What I didn't know was how fast this game would just absolutely curb stomp my confidence like I owed it money. One of the first areas you stumble into is this place called Green Path. At first, it feels super peaceful, bright colors, soft music, a chill forest vibe. You know, like you're listening to the lo-fi beats or something. And for a second, I thought maybe the game was gonna go easy on me. Maybe this was the tutorial area, right? Nah, not at all. Just when I started getting comfortable, the acid pits showed up, and flying enemies started dive bombing me like they've been holding a grudge since the title screen. But here's the thing, the game doesn't just punish you for no reason. It's like this weird, tough love relationship where the more you get wrecked up the fucking ass, the more you want to keep going, because every new area has something cool to offer, like hidden treasures, abilities, and of course, bosses that treat your health bar like it's optional. So I kept pushing forward, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Green Path was just the beginning. I had no idea what the game was really saving for me. Because the first boss I ran into was the False Knight, and honestly, it's not the worst intro to boss fights. I mean, he's big, slow, and kind of looks like a knockoff character from a kid's cereal box. But the fight itself wasn't too bad. Mostly just dodging his big tantrum swings and avoiding getting pancaked by his jumps was all you had to do. But once I realized all his armor was just for show and that he's got the actual fighting spirit of a wet napkin, I beat him pretty quickly. And then after that, that's when I made the mistake of walking into Crystal Peak. Because for some reason the enemies here aren't just annoying, they feel purposeful. Like they've got quotas to hit and you showing up was just a bonus target for the day. And that's not even mentioning that this biome heavily leans on platforming, which I found out very quickly is not my strong suit at all. But eventually, after way too many up close and personal encounters with crystal spikes, I somehow made it out and scraped together what was left of my soul and just kind of wandered down, and that's when I stumbled into the fungal wastes. The music slowed down, and suddenly the world trades out sharp glowing crystals for bouncy mushrooms and questionable air quality. And then the enemies here don't just attack, they sort of lunge at you like an overcooked dumpling with legs. It was weird. The nice thing though is that the layout was more open, and for a brief moment I actually felt like I knew what I was doing. Exploring didn't feel like a punishment anymore, and I was kind of just bouncing around, smacking mushroom guys, and finally getting a rhythm going. And then there's also the NPCs, and I swear these odd little creatures either want to help you, scam you, or they'll hit you with an unskippable lecture. So I didn't spend too much time in the fungal waste. Sure, it had its charm, but eventually I packed up and moved on to the next closest biome I hadn't explored yet, which was the City of Tears. Which kinda sounded poetic at first to me, until I realized most of those tears would be mine. Fitting, really, since it sits right at the center of the map, and yeah, it ended up being the biome I spent the most time in. And that's because the enemies here are on a whole nother level. Armored guards, lunging swordsmen, and those flying dudes with spears that always show up when you're low on health. And yeah, they made sure I didn't have too much fun. Then came the rooftop fight with the Soul Master. I climbed my way up through the tower only to be greeted by quick slashes, teleporting nonsense, classic Hollow Knight, right? Welcome to the next level type of energy. But after I beat him, I was able to finally obtain the first Dreamer, Lorene the Watcher, which felt like a major turning point for me. Like, okay, maybe I'm not totally garbage at this game anymore. And it gave me a purpose and a goal to accomplish. Find the other two Dreamers so that I could finally get into the Black Egg where I heard the Hollow Knight boss awaited me. So I set off again with my new shiny sense of purpose. The second Dreamer I hunted down was Hera the Beast, and apparently she's just chilling in Deep Nest, which is basically Hollow Knight's way of asking, hey, do you hate yourself enough to walk into a spider's nightmare? Nope. So I had no choice but to accept the challenge, and it was dark, everything skitters, the music sounds like it's trying to crawl inside your ear, and if you blink too long, you're probably dead. But hey, at least the floor isn't acid anymore, so I was actually kind of winning. Then there was Monomon, the teacher. who, despite sounding like someone who should give helpful life advice, lives underwater in a place full of jellyfish that explode on impact.
No!
That whole area felt like walking through a science fair run by creatures that hate you. But after all the pain, panic, and way too many corpse runs, I did it. I found all 3 dreamers. The ancient seal was weakening. The final boss was within reach. But did I go fight the Hollow Knight immediately? Of course not. Because I decided, hey, why not do a little DLC before the end? Which is how I got roped into the Grim Troop. Now at first, I thought this was just some side content, maybe a little mini quest, a fun distraction. Nope. The Grim Child shows up looking like a haunted nightlight with abandonment issues. And suddenly I'm running all over the map, lighting spooky torches and fighting bugs on fire. It's like Hollow Knight gave me a Tamagotchi and said, feed it, or it feeds on you. But you know what? I kinda loved it. The vibe, the music, the weird circus cult thing, it was all peak Hollow Knight. Mysterious, creepy, and way harder than it has any right to be. And with that badge of honor and a small, flaming child companion, I was finally ready. It was time to face the Hollow Knight.
The Hollow Knight. Bring it on. Oh my god. Stabbing himself? For what reason? Oh my god. Oh, that was it? That was so easy.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. Also, quick heads up, I just started streaming, so if you want to come hang out while I play games live, catch the wild moments as they happen, or just roast me, come swing by the Twitch channel. I'll have it linked either on my YouTube page or in the description. And more videos are definitely on the way, so keep an eye out. But for now, peace out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.